Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to another one of the Business Barn webinars. My name is Ro, Business Manager at the Business Barn, and our guest host this afternoon is Sarah Riley, founder and CEO of Inspired Courses and Inspired Camping. So you're using the software in a listen-only mode, so any background noise at your end will not be heard, but also we can't therefore hear you. For questions, you'll see there's on the right-hand panel of your screen a drop-down menu entitled Questions. If you click this, you can then type in any questions, and this will come through to me. And feel free to ask any questions during the webinar when you think of it, and we'll feed these back to Sarah at the end of the session. So without further ado, I'll hand you over to Sarah.
Here we go. Wonderful. Thank you for unmuting me. That's brilliant. Hopefully you can all hear me now. I have a lot to share with you today, so I won't delay. I'm going to get a move on now, as the tech gods are now on our side. Unfortunately, you never know what's going to happen when the technology is involved. But here we are. We're here now, and hopefully you can all hear me. Do please make sure that you put any questions in the chat as we go through. They'll be compiled by Ro, who's going to be doing a great job behind the scenes and who's going to fire the questions at me at the end to make sure you get all your questions answered during this session. Really great for you to be here. Really pleased you're here. I want to make sure you get plenty of value. So today we're going to talk through 3 ways you can grow your holiday business using the power of Facebook ads. And Facebook ads are pretty epic. At the moment, things are wild with Facebook ads, and it is a tool that you can use to make sure that you're getting your business in front of your customers. And that's what this is all about. So who am I? Well, my name is Sarah Riley, and I am involved in all kinds of stuff in the unique holiday rental and glamping industry. I'm invited by the organisers of the glamping show to present there at their show, and also in America to present there, to share my input and also observations and training and workshops around how people can actually set up a unique holiday rental, and then how they can actually get it in front of their guests, which is often the challenge and the struggle that people find once they've set their business up. So this was me in America, had a wonderful time. And the great thing about me being able to attend all these other events is that I get to see things from around the world. And it means that I get to share best practice from what others are using very successfully to get their business in front of their guests, but to also to set up and everything else. And this means that we in the UK and Europe and everywhere else can share this information and knowledge, and likewise I can share it back with them. And I love this whole sharing of best practice. I think we learn so much from it. There's so much to gain from it. People are doing things you would not believe in this industry, and this is what I love to share with everyone, to make sure that they're using the techniques and the tools and the knowledge that is there for them. So stay curious. This is what I always say to my students in my workshops. I do face-to-face workshops. I also do online workshops, and I run a lot of online courses and workshops and coaching. So it all started here. So this is a gentleman's residence in Somerset, and I'm very, very lucky that I was brought up by a family of entrepreneurs. And this meant that I was able to learn from a very young age what I needed to do to run a business and to get my business in front of guests. And this was a gentleman's residence, a boutique hospitality business we had. So we ran this for many years, almost a decade, in Somerset. Gentleman's residence. It's 5-star. It's very hard to get 5-star, but we managed it. And I learned so much through that process of actually running this hospitality business. I learned about how to find guests. But back then, we didn't have the tools that we have now. And the tools that we have now are epic, and they are growing. And this is because we are able to use the internet. We'll be able to reach around the globe to actually find customers. And if we're not using this, this is a tool that, if this is a tool we're not using, then we're really missing a trick. So Today, what I'm going to go through is why you need to pay attention to the Facebook ads platform, how you can avoid one of the biggest ad mistakes others are making, and also how to confidently attract more customers using 3 simple ad formulas. So hopefully you can still now see my screen. I'm going to keep going unless Ro, you please interrupt if it all goes off again. But I'm hoping that this is all going to be fine. So let's get going. So first of all, as a business, you need to have a guest attraction strategy. And if you don't have one, you really need to focus on this for a while. Now, I explain why in my podcast, which is episode 18. You can find that and listen to it over on inspiredcamping.com/018. This is where I talk about how the industry is increasing in competition, how some businesses are finding that they're getting gaps in their calendar and bookings are dropping off at certain times when that's never happened before. Now, interestingly enough, this isn't something that's just going on in the UK and Europe. When I raised this in America, there were loads of nodding heads in the audience and they were all experiencing the same. But this isn't necessarily because the market's getting oversaturated. This just means that people are booking their holidays in different ways. And if you're not where people are booking their holidays, then that's why they maybe are missing your business and you're getting those gaps in your calendar. So this is one way of doing it. What I'm going to share with you today is one way of doing that. If you want to join the community of people who are talking about these issues, I run one of the largest communities of unique holiday rentals online, and you can go and join that community. You're very welcome to join. Welcome mat is always there. Inspiredcamping.com/Facebook, and that will take you to the closed Facebook group, which you have to request membership for. I'll be very happy to see you in there. So the guest attraction strategy, we need that for a number of reasons, but one of the main reasons is why we also need Facebook ads. Now you can see in this picture, this street, there's lots of people going down this street. This is called a natural footfall. So all of these shops and all of these restaurants and cafes are having a natural footfall of people, customers, potential customers, walking past their shop window, looking in, seeing their displays, being attracted inside. And then, of course, they can sell to them, they can offer them things. And that's when they make, the customer might make a purchase, the owner makes a sale, and it's fantastic. Everybody's happy. But if you're running a hospitality business like you are, you don't have that natural footfall of people going past your shop window. In fact, you don't even have a shop window. Well, at least you don't have a shop window on the street, but you may have a shop window online. So Facebook ads, currently Facebook is a platform with 2 billion, almost 3 billion users. Now that is epic when you consider the fact that in the world, we only have 7.5 billion people. So it just gives you a sense of how big this platform is. And absolutely, without a shadow of a doubt, your customer is there. But you need to know how to put your shop window into Facebook and online to attract those people, that massive footfall of people walking through that particular platform. So this is an example of something I've run. So I never teach stuff that I don't do myself. I've done it all. And one of the things I do regularly is Facebook ads. This is why I know how they work. And this is an example of an ad, the results of an ad that I ran for a few days. So I spent just under £70 on this, and this saw a reach. So this is an actual reach of people actually seeing what I had to offer, of 13,000 people. Now, can you imagine doing that only for £69? So this was for a product which was £150. And if you consider that I may have got a 1% conversion rate on that, I'll let you do the sums. But certainly that more than covers the spend, and there was a very nice profit. So at the end of the day, this is stuff that you can do too if you know how to set up your Facebook ad strategy. You can get these types of results, and it's incredibly important that you make the most of it when you can. So thinking about your shop window and trying to get the traffic that might be walking past your shop window and getting people to come into your business and to maybe book to stay in your hospitality business. Can you imagine if you had this lady, a nice smiling lady who was able to go out on the street and was able to attract people into your shop if you had a shop? And she's able to talk to them about what you offer and what they might want to buy or they may want to book from you in terms of a future holiday. And this lady shows them to the checkout. She may also maybe get their attention if they've come into your shop, they've had a look around, but they haven't actually bought anything, but they've shown an interest. Wouldn't it be amazing if you could get this virtual assistant to actually explain to them that you have a special offer on at the moment and maybe they'd like to book? Or maybe they've already walked out the shop and maybe you're about to lose them as a potential customer, but she can go and find them and she can bring them back and she can attract them in by giving them some other information that gets them excited. Or maybe they've already made a purchase in the past from your shop, and so she's able to go out and find these past customers and actually bring them in and say, hey, we've got something new, you may want to make another purchase. Wouldn't it be amazing if you could actually have someone that could do that for you automatically? But then what also if this virtual assistant could actually go out there and could find exactly the same type of customer who's based on your ideal customer from the past and actually invite them to come and have a look at your business and what you have to offer. So this is people you've never ever come into any contact with before, but who fit the perfect profile of your ideal customer. Now, wouldn't that be exciting? Well, this is exactly what Facebook ads allows you to do. And that's what's so amazing. So this is why you really need to get involved with Facebook ads, because it opens up so many opportunities for you. And before we go any further, the only reason that I really promote Facebook ads is nothing to do with any connection I have with Facebook, because I do not. But I myself use these ads as I've shown you, and I know how valuable they are. And for me, I think it's really important that I get that message out there to small businesses, because I know the pressures of what it's like running a small business, because I have done that with my family. So I know how important it is to understand these platforms are there for you and that you can actually use them to boost and grow your business. So one of the biggest mistakes people make is they don't think about their strategy and how they're actually going to use the ad to make a sale or to get people to sign up to an email list or to whatever it is they want them to take as an action at the end of it. And so not thinking through that process is a mistake, because what then happens is, and this is what I've seen happen in the past, very sadly, people have actually set up an ad, they've set themselves a budget, they've started spending money on it. In fact, I've even seen it a couple of times when it's flashed up in my Facebook feed. And because I've been so excited that it's actually a hospitality business that's taking a small business owner who's taking an initiative to do this. So I've followed the ad to see how they've set it up, to see what they're actually encouraging people to do, what action they want them to take. And it's just fallen flat. So the advert hasn't led to the right type of page, the right type of language. It's not the right type of thing. So I was a cold audience, and I'll explain that in a minute. But I landed on a page that was asking for an instant booking, and that does not work when someone doesn't know your business. So let me explain that a little bit more. So first of all, your ads have to really fit well with the position that a person is in when they're actually looking at your ad. So someone, for example, might be problem aware. So they might be saying, I really need a holiday. I'm exhausted, I need a break from work, and I need to get away with the family, and I need to get away from work. So they have a problem, they're problem aware, they know their problem, but at that point, they're motivated to do something about it, but they don't know anything about your business. They don't know anything about what you offer, and therefore they're cold because they aren't warmed up to your business. They don't trust you because they don't know you. Then they might think to themselves, you know what, we need a break. We need a break in a holiday cottage or a glamping site or something like that. We need to have a break away. We need to get out into nature, or we need to just get away from the city. So then they know what the solution is. They need the break, they need a holiday, and therefore they become interested in what businesses like you offer. And then the next stage after that is that they start comparing solutions. So they start comparing opportunities that they might have. So that might be they're comparing your glamping site with another person's holiday cottage in certain locations. So that's when they want something, they want to book something. That's when they're very, we call hot audience. And this is an audience that is very likely to purchase from you because of that. So that's the point when someone is going to buy. But if you deliver an advert at the wrong stage in this process, then your advert will not work. And that means that you will have wasted your precious budget for your ad spend. So getting it right is following this process, making sure you're speaking to your audience, the audience you've chosen to deliver your ad to, in the right way for what they particularly are after at that point. But it isn't as tricky as you might think. It's not as difficult as you might think. And so the next thing to do is to think about how you can confidently attract more customers using the 3 simple ad formulas that are available to you for cold, warm, and hot audiences. And this is key. This is key to getting it all right. So if you really focus on these particular things, these particular types of adverts, when you're setting up your Facebook ads, you'll have a real reaction amongst the people who are actually seeing your ad. So first of all, if you've got a cold audience, so this might be setting up an advert for a lookalike audience. So a lookalike audience is when you ask Facebook to go out and find people who are exactly like a set amount of people that you've had from the past. So for example, you may have an email list of previous customers. That's brilliant. These are people who want to buy from you, they have in the past. So you give that list to Facebook and you say, Facebook, find me people exactly like this profile. And Facebook will go out and do that for you. I mean, that's pretty epic. And the great thing is that they'll find people who are match so many different pointers on the people that you have asked them to match. This is a cold audience because they've never come into contact with you before. But one of the things you can do is you can actually offer them, you know that they are very similar to people who have stayed with you before, so they'll be interested in your area and staying in your area. Believe it or not, Facebook is so sophisticated, even more so than Google Ads. It can actually do that. It can actually find people who are interested in your area. Now, it might be that those people have stayed in your area before, that they're part of groups before, they've shown an interest by sharing content on your area before, whatever it might be. You might even be able to say, because they are interested in glamping or they're interested in wellness or yoga or whatever it is that you might offer as an added thing to your business. So you can get them interested by offering them something that maybe warms them up to you because they're a cold audience. They don't know about you, but they're interested in your area. So one of the things you can do is that you can actually share an ebook of things to do in your area for families. So if that's your ideal customer, families, then things to do in your area, activities to take part in, secret spots to visit, and you can offer that ebook from your website that they can download really simply in exchange for their email. And then that means that you are able to keep in contact with those people and offer them maybe a discount on a sale in the future because you know that you will have warmed them up because you've been offering them content, and that also has been content about your business, pictures of your business, how they can stay there and things like that. Now, you might think, oh, an ebook, I can't do an ebook. You can get people to actually produce an ebook like this really simply for 10, 20 pounds, really, really small amounts of money. It's all possible. You don't have to do the work. You can get other people to do the work for you. So the next one might be around a warm audience. So these are people that maybe have visited your website, they've looked around a bit, they've maybe looked at your page that you show the facilities for what you have to offer, or pictures or of your gallery, or they may even have, gone into it in a bit more depth, or maybe they just landed on your homepage for your website. If you have the Facebook pixel on your website, you can actually ask Facebook to deliver an ad, your advert, in front of those people who have already visited your website and shown an interest in your business. That's why they are a warm audience, because they already know you, they know where you are, they know your business. And so you can deliver something that's slightly different to them because they're warmed up. Now, the type of thing that you could offer them could be something around offering them a special service when they stay. It could be a free hamper, or a bottle of champagne if they book by a certain date. It could be anything. The only limit is your imagination and what you think is important to your customer, because everybody is different. So you would ask Facebook very, very simply to deliver your advert to people who have already landed on your website in the last 30 days. They're warmed up already, they're already considering booking, they've been investigating their solutions and their options, and that's why delivering that type of ad to them is going to work much better. And then you've got your hot customers. These are people who are really hot, excited about what you have to offer. They may have even looked at your checkout page, gone throughout the whole process of booking something. They've landed on your checkout page. They're just about to make a booking and pay. Maybe they got distracted by the kids. Maybe they got distracted by tea. Maybe the oven buzzer went off. Maybe the phone rang. There's so many distractions about why somebody might be almost about to book you, and then suddenly they stop. Maybe they had a second thought, I need to put this past my husband, or I need to double check that I can take this holiday off from work. So to be able to actually do an advert which you can deliver to them, and it's very, very different, because you could maybe offer them a 10% booking discount if they book within the next week or few days, whatever it is you decide you want to do. You can ask Facebook to deliver that ad automatically to anybody who has visited your checkout page. Now, you may think, oh, 10%, I don't want to give away 10%. But if you think about it, if you're actually going to be getting those customers through a booking page, a booking platform, you're going to be paying upwards of 15%, and in some cases 25% plus tax on top. So actually getting people to book direct with you directly through your website is going to actually benefit you more. You will have less costs. And being able to find people that may otherwise have been distracted, dropped off, and not come back to your website to book, when they're at a point of being so excited about what you offer that they were ready to book, they were almost taking out their credit card. I'm sure you can understand that that is the low-hanging fruit. That's the individuals who could really be excited about buying from you. Now, I'm running out of time, so I'm going to have to move on. But there's so many questions. There's so much that I can give you, so much more information I can give you, but there's some key things. But I'm constantly asked more questions from people who I work with all the time. And some people actually want to spend a bit more time with me to go through their Facebook ad strategy for this particular industry. And it's very, very unique. And some of the questions that I get are, I really want to take back control and stop paying such high commission fees to booking agents. So I show them how they can do this using Facebook ads. It's possible, as I explained, especially when you consider the fact that places like Airbnb are increasing their fees because they're about to float on the stock market. They need to answer to their shareholders. They're going to be putting their costs up. So this time of cheap fees through Airbnb is going. Others have asked me, but I don't know what works in the holiday industry or what ads others are using. So I put together an ebook with examples across many different industries, many different companies in the holiday industry, showing people the inside knowledge and the inside line of exactly what works and exactly what doesn't, and to give people inspiration about how their ads should look and what type of text they can use and what images they can use and why those things work. And people have asked, I want to fill the off-peak gaps in my booking calendar. Can I do this with Facebook ads? Yes. This is one of the key ways you can use Facebook ads. It's pretty amazing what you can do with it when you have a period coming up in the calendar with lots of gaps and you're panicking because you need to fill those gaps. You can do that really well with a quick, targeted, and very focused Facebook ads campaign. But then also, I've had people ask, I really need to find some new customers who are interested in visiting this area. I know that's a way for me to be able to attract people in because I'm in a wonderful area. So I've showed them how they can find those people on Facebook who are really interested in the area and staying in it, or have particular interests, or maybe even have a birthday coming up, or a wedding coming up, or a big celebration coming up, or are interested in Mother's Day, Father's Day, whatever celebration event it is, or maybe even have shown an interest in your business page because you're in that particular area, or have shown an interest in other pages that are linked to your particular area. This is all possible on the Facebook ads platform. So what if I get it wrong and I spend too much money on my ads? Something people worry about all the time. So I show them exactly what they need to think about, exactly what they need to do to make sure that never happens. You'll never overspend on your budget. You'll know exactly how to set it, and there will be no mistakes, and you'll be able to keep within your budget. But a lot of people say, I'm not techie enough. I don't know what to do, and I never remember any training that I do. And so this is the number one reason why in the training that I provide, I do little snippets. So this is like 10-minute snippets of key actions that you need to take to set up your ad, so that when you're at each stage, you can go through that really tiny bit of snippet of training, follow the steps, look over my shoulder while I'm actually doing it, and do exactly the same, know exactly how to do it. But then maybe in a month or 6 months, when you've forgotten how to do that all again, you can go back to that 10-minute snippet. That's the brilliant thing about it. And also they're updated as the Facebook ads platform changes, which it does, unfortunately. But aren't Facebook ads expensive and time consuming to set up? No. Once you know how to do it and you've got your strategy, you can absolutely set a budget for, say, £5 a day, even less than that. You know, it's really whatever you want to do, you'll be able to have an impact with even the smallest budget. But I've tried Facebook ads before and they didn't work. And I'm sorry to say that's probably because you didn't do it right, because they work. They absolutely work. Businesses are built just on Facebook ads themselves. So if you didn't quite get it to work, don't give up. It just means you need to do it slightly differently. But how do I know if my ad is working before I waste too much money? This is about knowing your key performance indicators. Really simple. There's about 5 of them. And if you follow those 5, you will know exactly if your ad is working, and also not just your ad, but if your landing page is working, where people are actually landing on after they've clicked on your ad. Then also, I'm having trouble making my ads irresistible. Yeah, of course, totally understand that. You know, we are all a little bit oversaturated with ads. So now we have to be really impactful with what we put together, and that is possible, and it's really easy. It's something we can all do, and I show people exactly how to do that. And I can't keep up with the new technology and tactics. That doesn't matter because I keep up with that. So if I'm supporting you, then absolutely you get supported in everything new that comes on, even if these are updates that happen in a year, 2 years' time. So I'm just going to keep on using my social media to drive sales for my business and not do ads this year. Well, that is a mistake, unfortunately, because organic traffic is reducing significantly. We've seen that on Facebook. About 4 years ago, we were getting lots and lots of organic traffic to our business pages on Facebook, and that's not happening anymore. It's all changing. Now, these are gateways, these are payment gateways for us to be able to get access to our customers. And we're running a business, we're not running a hobby. So we have to learn and understand that we have to pay for getting in front of people. And although we can have some success using social media, and I've had quite a bit of success myself. In fact, social media is my #1 tool that I use for my own business. To actually have quick and targeted success using this, you have to pay a little bit of money for it. So I run what's called the Facebook Ads Made Easy for Hospitality course, and thanks to Business Barn for organising this so I can share some of this with you. But it really hasn't been enough time. And if anybody does want some more help, then you're more than happy. I'm very, very happy to speak to you about how I might be able to help you. And so the Facebook Ads Made Easy for Hospitality course is something that I offer people. It's an online course. It's available through a smartphone app and on your computer with workbooks supporting ebooks and support from me via email. And it's all there for anyone who might want to dive into the potential and possibilities of Facebook ads with all the other students that have already joined the course. So in the course, I also offer Facebook ads best practice. So this is within this industry. It's the only course that does this specifically about this industry, the holiday industry, and what people are using to attract their customers. What ads are they using? What text are they using? What's their language in their adverts? How are they getting their success? So I go through all of that with you in this. But I also offer in this the Facebook Ads Quick Impact Formula. So this is exactly what you need to put in your ads to make sure people stop the scroll in Facebook, take notice of your ad, and then follow on to the next step that you want them to take. So all of this is available in my online guide, my online course, my supportive online course. And because Business Barn have been so instrumental in setting up this webinar to share this tool with you and some of this information with you, I'm giving everyone on Business Barn a discount code if they want to join in with this course. The code is FB ADS20, which is Facebook Ads 20. It gives you 20% off, and all you need to do to go and find out more and learn more about that is to go to inspiredcourses.com/BB, which is obviously for Business Barn. So I hope that you got over all the technological problems at the beginning, and I hope you heard everything that I had to share there. I know that we have already had some questions come in actually, and I think Ro may want to make sure that I follow all of that by taking me through that. Hopefully you are still on, Ro, and that you can go through some of those questions with me. Are you
Yes,
there?
hi everybody, and thank you very much, Sarah. That was really informative and insightful, and hopefully everyone's gleaned lots of top tips from you as an expert on this subject. Yeah, we've had quite a few questions come in, so if we just start running through those. So first one is, should I stay away from having text in my ad image?
Okay. So this is really a really interesting one because Facebook is constantly changing, and this is one area that it's changed in. So it used to be that if you had 20% or more text in your image, then they wouldn't show it to people, and so you were wasting your time putting that ad together. But now rather than saying we won't show it to people, they now say we'll show it to less people, we'll show your advert to less people. But you can double check that you have the right amount of text in your image. So there's a really fantastic tool. Maybe what I can do is I can share that link with you, Ro, because it's quite a long one, and you can put it maybe next to this webinar. But there's a really good tool called the Facebook Ads Overlay tool. So you just simply upload your image using that link, and then Facebook tells you if you have the right amount of text on your ad or if there's a problem with it. So it will tell you if that will work or not. But actually, you don't need to worry quite so much anymore.
Brilliant. Thanks, Sarah. And next question is, so Facebook changes all the time. How do I keep up?
You have to keep your finger on the pulse of it all. You have to keep doing the work, or you can get someone like me to do the work for you. And then, so those students, for example, who are in my online guide or online course, they are updated by me regularly with any major changes, and the course content changes, and I highlight where that may be an issue that people need to come back to and revisit. So that's really, you have to either do it yourself and keep up with it yourself, or you can get the support to get someone to do it for you. But I think really it's no reason to avoid doing ads, because there are so many benefits to doing ads. That's the key. And as long as you're following the guidelines that Facebook gives you about what you should and shouldn't do with your ads, you won't have any problems. You won't have any real problems. You'll just maybe not have quite the success that you could otherwise have had if you knew exactly what was going on and how things maybe are changing. Does that help?
That's great, Sarah. So we've had a few more questions come in.
Yep.
Someone's asked that saying that have 11,000 followers interested in horse riding holidays on their Facebook page. Can Facebook help find additional potential customers within a 2 to 3 hour drive of where they are?
Yes. Really simply, yes. Yeah, I mean, that's fantastic. If you've already got a foundation of lots of followers, then that's brilliant. That's fabulous, because what that has is a customer profile of people who are interested in what you do and what you offer. So you can get Facebook to take a look at your business page followers, and it can either deliver an ad directly to them, or you can ask Facebook to find a lookalike audience that looks exactly like the members of your business page and find other people exactly like them. And so that's perfect, because that's almost a warm audience, because you've already shown that even though they are cold, but it's cold warm, because you've shown that the baseline, the foundation profile of people on your business page are really interested in what you already offer. So absolutely, that's a great place to start. And actually, a lot of businesses, they start before that, and they start building up their business page followers. So actually, what you've got there is you've already jumped quite a few steps ahead. So yes, that's a great resource. Use it as a fantastic pool of people you can use.
Brilliant. Thank you, Sarah. And going back to when you mentioned about the ebooks, someone just wondered if you'd got any suggestions on who might be able to write the ebook.
Oh yeah, absolutely. There's a couple of fantastic tools. So you can go to a number of places to find freelancers to do this for you. So there's one, and I believe the web address is freelancer.com. And so you basically put out a job and say, I have a job, this is what I need to have doing, this is my budget for it, and then people actually request to do it for you. And they have to give you a example of a portfolio of things that they've done in the past. You can also use something called peopleperhour.com, and that's great because you're paying for a similar thing, but you can also buy a block of hours where you pay a small amount of money to do exactly the same thing. You can also use fiverr.com, which is a really cheap option, but the quality varies on fiverr.com. And so the best way to do that is to make sure that you're absolutely looking at how your freelancers that you might employ are reviewed. So reviews they've got, and they have to have reviews from previous customers. Don't go with anyone who hasn't had reviews. And look at their portfolio, make sure that their portfolio is a high standard. Or if you have a teenager in the family who's a bit of a whiz kid, provide them with the text and provide them with the images and ask them to put something together. There's so many tools online that help you do that. It's really simple. You can use all kinds of stuff. And that's super cheap. You can pay them, you know, obviously a smaller amount of money, but a fair amount of money. And they can provide it for you, produce a PDF, and that's it, PDF, and put that link on your website on a page, and make that page only accessible to people who sign up to your email list. Bang, you've got it. It's all done. So the key is to get not to get too bogged down in the process, and to ask for help wherever you can, but to, you know, as if you have a smaller budget, to make sure you go to the right place to get that help. I hope that answers it.
Lovely, that sounds good to me, Sarah. Thank you. Another question is, do you recommend split testing with Facebook ads? And if so, have you got any more top tips about this?
Yes, absolutely. It's really amazing how our audience that we think we know always react differently to things in a, you know, completely differently to what we imagine they might act. So, for example, I was running a series of 5 ads, and each one was exactly the same in terms of its text, but each image was different. Now, I felt very sure I knew exactly which ad would be the most successful one. They were all going to the same audience. Everything was the same apart from the images were different. So I thought, I know that image is going to get the most interest. And it was totally different. The image that got the most interest was the one that I thought would get the least interest. So it just goes to show that you never really know without testing. So that's exactly how I would recommend you test. So you would set up a couple of similar ads, and you would make sure that only one thing in the ads that you're testing is different. So if you have more than one thing, so if you have different text and a different image, you're going to be confused about which is the element that's making that change or making that different reaction. So keep it, so maybe first you might test the images, next you might test the text, and you only need to test it for 72 hours and then analyze the data. 72 hours is the important amount of time that you need to do it, because then you've had enough information back from Facebook to give you a good baseline about exactly what's worked and what hasn't. So don't get too, you know, mixed up with this though. Maybe just do 2 images and test those, 2 bits of text, test those. And then you can keep reusing it. You don't have to do this every single time you run an ad. Just if you have any major changes in your ad, then maybe do the testing at that point. I go through all of this in my course, show you exactly how to set it up, because if you don't get the ad structure set up correctly, then you won't be getting the right data back. And you also need to know what the key performance indicators are to make sure you know exactly what's working on and off your ad, because off your ad is as important as on your ad. So it isn't just about the ad. I hope that's answered it in the time I have.
Thank you, Sarah. We've had one final one in. So this person has a lot of followers, or several tens of thousands, and they're getting good reach within 24 hours via an organic post. Is it still worth them advertising?
I'm assuming you're asking, is it worth boosting that post? It's absolutely worth advertising if you have gaps in your calendar, if you're not making enough sales or bookings. Advertise is my answer to that one. But if you're asking about is it worth boosting the post amongst your followers, it is, but not from your Facebook business page. So you have to set up an ads account, so a Facebook ads account. There's 2 separate places. So please understand that you have your Facebook. So you have Facebook, that's where we all go to share information amongst our friends and family, and to look at our business pages and to monitor our business pages and interact in our business pages. That's Facebook. The Facebook ads platform is separate, and you need to put a separate account on there and then a separate payment account on there. That's where you get your pixel from to put on your website. That's how you get everything set up properly, to make sure that your ads work properly. Don't run your ads from within your business page, because you will not be able to make sure that your ad is super specific to the audience you definitely want them to be, delivered to, your ad delivered to. So if you've got heaps of money, you might be able to just say, okay, I'm going to boost this page to my general audience. But if you've got a smaller budget, you might want to say, okay, I want to boost this advert to females who are the ones that usually book our services, who live in this area, who are this age, and who have a birthday coming up, or are getting married soon, and who are interested and have interacted with our business page. That is a totally different matter, because you're going to get a much better reaction to any ads that you put out when you're that specific. And you can't put that detail in your business page adverts that you do directly from Facebook, but you can do that level of detail in your Facebook ads account. I hope that answers it.
Yes, brilliant, Sarah. So we've had another one come in, which is about what sort of link you should put on the advert. Could it just be your website link, or do you need to create a landing page, and is that a better way of doing it?
Okay, well, every case is different, every ad is different, every business is different. So I don't know your specific situation, whoever asked that question, but I would say that you need to think about exactly what action you want the person who clicks your ad to take. And you need to think about, how can I convert that person to taking that action, from being just someone who's interested and converting them into taking the action, whatever action that might be. Now, the action might be downloading an ebook, it might be to actually sign up to an email list, it might be to download a discount code for your services in the future in return for an email list. It could be to buy something, to book something, to actually make a sale. Whatever it is will change what you do and whether you need a landing page. But not only that, who is it that you're serving that advert to? Who is that audience? Who are they? And is that landing page going to speak to that audience? Or is it going to be so general that it won't really speak to them? That's one of the biggest mistakes people in this industry can make, is to not really think about how you can do those things when people leave the ad platform and land on your website. And that's key. And those conversion tactics are key. And without that, you'll just be sending people to your website, people will have a look around, and then they'll drift off, and you'll have a big bounce rate. This means people have landed on your website, bounced off quite quickly, and that means your bounce rate will be quite high, which hopefully you have a Google Analytics account and you'll be able to track all of that. But the point is, really think about the action you want people to take and who those people are and how you can really speak to them. And if you do that, then you'll get it right.
Brilliant, thanks, Sarah. I think that's all of the questions. So we'd just like to say thank you very much, Sarah, and thank you to everyone for listening this afternoon. Lots more useful information on the subject on our Business Barn website, so please do have a look at this, and a lot of the information Sarah's written herself. We also have the forum on the website, so if you do still have any more questions you'd like to ask or experiences to share, please do use this as a place to do so, or alternatively drop Sarah an email. I know she'd be very happy to answer any further questions. Thumbs up from Sarah. So the webinar has been recorded and will be available to watch again on our website, and we'll hopefully get some communication out to yourselves to say that it's on there and a link to view it. Thanks again for listening, and hopefully we will see you soon at our next webinar. Thanks everyone, bye bye.